Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie?
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9,
WORD.
the voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome to the program on your Thursday afternoon. Thursday, better known as Friday's slightly less attractive sister. Welcome to the program. I want to remind you that coming up on Saturday, we've got the Back to Basics breakfast. I'm going to be speaking there. It is at 3240 North Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville. We're going to have, Clerk of Court Jay Gresham is going to be there. I'm going to be speaking as well. This is really a fellowship and candidate recruitment breakfast that we're having. Also, like I said, we're going to be talking about key issues as well. But this is for people, if you've thought about maybe delving into politics, maybe you want to, you don't know where to get started, how to get your feet wet, so to speak. There's a lot of people there that are more than willing to help you on your way. So if you ever thought about politics, or if you just want to hang out with a bunch of great conservatives, this is the place to be. It's the Back to Basics breakfast. Again, that's going on at Golden Corral on Saturday. Starts at 9 o'clock, goes on to about 10:30. And that's at 3240 North Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville. Well, the Democrats, ladies and gentlemen, have done it again. They have shut down the government, and they continue to keep the government shut down. Not only, here we are, day 23. Day 23 of the government shutdown, and they're still trying to blame the Republicans when we all know that it is not their fault. It's the Democrats' fault. There are only 53 Republicans in the Senate. You got to have 60 to open the government. Right now, you've got, three Democrats that had voted with the Republicans to keep it open. So they're trying to now. Oh, yes, the Republicans could open the government immediately. But all they would have to do is agree to $1.5 trillion being added to the continuing resolution. Now, here's what Congress is supposed to do. Every year, they are supposed to pass 12 appropriations bills. That would keep the government open for a year, the whole year, the fiscal year. But since they haven't done that, since the Democrats can't come to any sort of an agreement, and again, they're the ones that are holding up the works here, now you got to have these continuing resolutions where we fund the government for a little bit of time. Now remember, when this bill is passed, if it's passed, and it'll probably the shutdown will go on into November, it's only going to keep the government open for 7 weeks. And I'm sure a lot of that will be retroactive, but still, it's only 7 weeks. And then, joy, oh joy, oh joy, we get to go through it all again. And then we'll see if the Republicans cave on the Democrats' demands. And they're talking about this whole Medicaid benefits, Medicare, Medicaid benefits for illegal aliens. And they're talking about the Obama health care subsidies that are supposed to be sunsetting at the end of the year. Well, who decided that? The Democrats did. This entire debacle is because of the Democrats, and they've got the opportunity to stop it. But if this has proven anything whatsoever, it is that the Affordable Care Act is not and has never been affordable. If you have to give government subsidies for people to have the the Affordable Care Act, then it ain't affordable. We will see what goes on with that. So now from what we're hearing is the GOP is finally, and you know what? I think the timing is pretty good, though. I was about to criticize them, but I do think the timing is pretty good. Because right now you've got all of these Democrats that are out there saying that, oh boy, people suffering is our leverage. Let's take a listen to Representative Catherine Clark of Massachusetts.
Shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be
families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
So, understand, your pain is their gain. The longer you suffer, the better it is for them. Remember when Chuck Schumer said that this shutdown was great for Democrats? Yeah, y'all need to remember that. Every time you start siding with the Democrats or thinking about, well, maybe the Republicans should cave. No, they are reveling in misery. They want to cause as much as possible. Well, like I said, the GOP is going to come out with some attack ads about that, and good. They ought to be playing in every market, every single hour of the day. Every single one. This ought to be a huge campaign because we've got enough of these people now, and it's just not Catherine Clark of Massachusetts. It's several others talking about how this is our leverage. This is what we do. This is the way we get our way. And, of course, the Democrats are trying to claim that it's all about Medicare and all about health care and blah, blah, blah. And we all know what it's really about. It's about illegal aliens. They even admit, even Hakeem Jeffries. And we're talking about sending $3 million to Zimbabwe. $3 million. For what? I mean, well, yeah, that's in there. Well, what does that got to do with health care? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, man, I'm telling you what, they're ridiculous. But again, they don't mind the pain. So listen to this. In this bill that the Democrats are proposing, $3.9 million for LGBTQ plus democracy grants in the Balkans, $13.4 million. Oh, I said $3 million. I'm sorry. It was $13.4 million for civic engagements in Zimbabwe. And listen to this. This is probably one of the most important. I would put this one second on the list. $2.9 million to relocate desert locusts in Africa. I guess the desert locust is in peril, so the American taxpayers have to pony up $2.9 million. But maybe the worst of all, and I've been telling you about this, is they're spending $1.5 million for pastry classes for Haitian male prostitutes. Now, folks, I'm not naive enough to think they're going to spend $1.5 million on pastry classes in Haiti. What is going to happen, this money, and this is why they're so adamant about this money is going to go to an NGO. That NGO is going to take their share out. Then they're going to send it to the next NGO. They're going to take their share out. They'll send it to another. And that will go all the way down the line until it actually gets to that Haitian male prostitute pastry class. And by that time, it might be pennies on the dollar. Meanwhile, all of those NGOs who got this money, guess what they're going to do with some of it? They're going to take it and they're going to donate it back to the Democrat Party and make sure that the Democrats get reelected. You see how it works in Washington? Yeah, it's a dirty, dirty system. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour on The Charlie James Show. Afternoons 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9.
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Let your fingers do the talking.
Text the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Now, one of the big contentions about the continuing resolution is that the Democrats want illegal aliens to get health benefits. People that are not here legally, they want them to get Medicare and Medicaid. They want to get them, they want all the privileges that come with being an American without all of the hassle of actually doing the paperwork and the studying and the hard work to become an American. They want all the benefits. And the Democrats want to give them to them. And in fact, Governor Pritzker today said something along that lines that, you know what? I mean, these people, hey, we got to find a way to get these people to be citizens. Hey, we got to do that. In fact, that philosophy is exactly what kicked off the whole sombrero meme with Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries when President Trump retweeted this video. Wait a minute. Hold on. Doggone it. I'm sorry. Every now and then my old sound wall here does not act or doesn't do right. But anyway, that's what they want. They want these people to ultimately become citizens. Here's that video.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Yeah, and so that kicked off the whole sombrero meme. Now, one of the things that they're saying is no illegal aliens get health care. They don't. And they've said this time and time again. Well, Caroline Leavitt at the White House today, well, she came with some receipts.
Since I've found many in this room to repeatedly deny the reality that Democrats gave Medicaid benefits to illegals, and they continue to seek to do just that, I've brought a few verified examples for you today. These are examples of some of the illegals who received Medicaid benefits under President Biden's leadership, and this is what Democrats are wanting to do. This is why they are continuing to keep the government closed. An illegal alien from Laos was arrested for murder, robbery, and felony possession of a firearm. An illegal alien from Guatemala who was arrested for rape and burglary. An illegal alien from El Salvador who was arrested for strangulation, DUI, and burglary. An illegal alien from Mexico who was arrested for attempted murder. The Democrats' open border policies allowed these threats into our country, and then they provided them with free health care.
Ta-da! But no illegal aliens are getting, and that's just a small sample. That's just a small sample. This is happening day in and day out. And I'll tell you how it happens. All you got to do is go to the emergency room. That's it. You can't be denied health care if you go to the emergency room. So they'll show up at the emergency room with whatever. They've got a fever or a cold, and they'll show up, but they've been told to complain of chest pains. Yeah, Dios mío, I have chest pains. Well, then they got to take them in. Oh, well, yeah, I guess the heart is fine, but while I'm here, I've also got a really high fever. I think you could do something about that? Oh, okay. Happens every day. Happens all the time, constantly, especially up in the Northeast, Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, out west in California and Portland and Washington State. Happens everywhere. You are paying for this every single day. And what is happening there is that is driving the cost of your health care through the roof. Through the roof. When you go to the hospital and you pay $200 for a, $5 ace bandage, this is part of the reason why. Indigent care. And care that is being provided by illegal aliens, That's costing everybody in a huge, huge way. The WRD talk line, 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. But here's what they want to say. That none of these people are here illegally. Because when they came across the border, they came into contact with Border Patrol agents. And these Border Patrol agents, acting as judges, granted them parole. That program has come to an end. Let's go to Ted in Pelzer. How you doing, Ted?
Hey, I was going to echo what you were just talking about, that a lot of them came seeking asylum, and while their asylum is being sought, they are considered legal aliens at that, or,
right.
They're considered legal guests, but they're still not here legally because 90% don't meet the criteria for that type of hardship. But they're giving them health care, they're giving them EBT cards, they're giving them debit cards with money on it, and not just health care when they go to the hospital. They are giving them Medicaid benefits. They're telling them to complain about chest pains and back issues and everything else. It's such a big scam, and what they're doing is just trying to solidify that voting base.
Exactly right.
So,
it's the world's largest voter drive.
It's word salad that it tries to change the fact that 90% of those people are illegal aliens.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to comment on.
Well, you're exactly right,
I give
Ted.
the Republicans credit for standing firm as long as they have.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, historically speaking, under Boehner, under Ryan, this government wouldn't have shut down because they would have caved to the Democrats. McCarthy, oh, yeah. McCarthy would have absolutely caved to the Democrats. I mean, this was the guy that wouldn't even when he was Speaker of the House, he allowed Nancy Pelosi to keep the Speaker of the House's office. No, that's not exactly a definition of an alpha male there. Let's go to Jamie in Morganton. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm doing good, Charlie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. What's on your mind?
Well, what is on my mind is that my husband and I are elderly, and we're both on Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and applied. We're very low income, and so we went and applied for Medicaid, and we were told that we only qualified for family planning Medicaid. My husband is 72.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute. You only qualify for family planning Medicaid?
Yes, that's all we qualified for. My husband is 72, and I am 69. So basically, Medicaid does absolutely nothing for us. And we also, at the insistence of my daughter, applied for food stamps. And we get $23 a month.
23?
23, yes, $23 a month.
So you might be able to buy 3 pounds of ground beef?
Well, not at the price of the ground beef
Yeah,
is
I know,
now,
right,
but but my husband and I, between he's disabled, he's 100% disabled, he's on oxygen 24/7, and I have had open heart surgery, and we don't qualify for any other assistance because we make too much money on our Social Security. We make less than $25,000 a year on our Social Security. That's what we live on.
Wow.
And I get sick and tired of hearing about all these illegals that are getting all of this stuff free when me and my husband are struggling day to day to buy food, buy medicine, get proper health care. It really makes me mad. So there's something wrong with the system, and it needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I think so. And they saw you when you walked in. And they realized that you were probably beyond the whole family planning stage of life.
Oh yeah. I mean, we told them, my husband's 72. I'm 69. What
Nice.
good is family planning Medicaid?
Yeah.
Well, at least you're in the system. What good does that do me?
Right. I know that made you feel better. Oh, my gosh. Jamie, I appreciate the call this afternoon. Thank you so much. And I'll bet there are just hundreds of thousands of stories just like that all across the country. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of nonstop breaking news and stimulating talk jumpstarts every hour on the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9
WORD.
the voice of the Carolinas. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORT.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Yeah, we're streaming all over the place this afternoon. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Man, we are everywhere. And, of course, we're over on the Odyssey app. Let's go to Paul in Hickory and talk to him. Paul, welcome. How are you, sir?
I'm doing outstanding as always. Every time I talk to you, Charlie. Hey, always a great show.
Thank you, sir. What's
hey,
up?
Just a real quick note. Two other points. Poor Jamie. I was listening to her call. I feel for her. I think what she needs is to give her some advice. Go to another location and walk in there and say, "Hola, my name Maria Gonzalez Gomez. I no speak English. I want money.
Those rubber stamps will be coming out like crazy. They be approved.
Yeah, here's your Medicaid card.
Yeah.
Here's a credit card. Here's your EBT card. Everything.
Yep. Oh, are you there, Paul? Oh, what happened to Paul? All right, well, let's go to Tammy in Greenville. And I have no idea what happened there. Tammy, welcome. Tammy, hey, Tammy, are you there?
I am, but I'm in Yancey County.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome. What's going on?
Calling in regards to Jamie's call. My mother-in-law faced the same situation. She's 80, and she was facing a health crisis, and she had tried to get the Medicaid also, and they told her the only thing she qualified for was family planning also. I mean, at that age, really, come up with something better than that.
Yeah.
The system, the Medicaid, Medicare, and I'm getting close to retirement, and I don't really even want either one. I'm like, it's so broken, and I'm like, the Democrats should be ashamed, but there is no shame.
There really isn't. There is no shame in them, and I'll give you a great example coming up in just a second. Tammy, I appreciate it. I want to go back to Paul. Paul, you had a couple more points, right?
Yeah. I was saying that I fly for a major airline, and when I was based in Miami, I used to fly Central America a lot and some domestic flights. And I know flying in and out of Central America, we'd get folks on our planes coming into the United States, and they'd get on there, no speaking English, with a big brown envelope, and it was full of their X-rays. And they would go down to Jackson Memorial Hospital, check themselves in, and get everything taken care of, and then you'd see them back on the plane flying back home. It's like, what about the bills?
Yeah. Nobody. Oh, Paul, I think we lost you again. Doggone it. Got to get that connection figured out. But the Democrats don't care. They want you to suffer because you have to suffer because that is your leverage to the Democrats. Let's listen to Chairwoman Lisa McClain talking about this over on CNN. Here we go.
Listen to what she said. I know Americans will suffer, but I need to use their suffering as leverage. You have a complete contradiction. The Democrats are going to let the American families suffer. They're going to let pregnant mothers and people who are on WIC not have food to use them as leverage? I mean, you have one party that's using the American people as leverage and the American people's suffering as leverage, and then you have Republicans that are actually trying to serve the American people. Are you kidding me? I think the American people are extremely upset about this. I can share with you the people in my community. They don't want their suffering to be used as leverage. And this is a political stunt. We put out a clean CR. No games, no gimmicks, no partisan wish list to continue to govern how government is supposed to work. And Catherine Clark wants to use suffering families as leverage. Just let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah, just let that sink in. And let's just play you what Catherine Clark said again.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have. I mean,
one of the few leverage times that we have. But now she's trying to undo that statement over on CNN.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt just posted a clip of an interview that you did on Fox last week. You were answering a question from Fox's Chad Pergram about blame for the shutdown. I want to look at the post here.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible, and of course,
Okay,
their
we heard that.
responsibility. But it's one of the few have.
Levitt is looking especially at that last bit you said there, saying that Democrats, quote, are now admitting that they are intentionally causing American families to suffer with their reckless government shutdown. What's your response to that?
Well, that is right out of her playbook of half-truths, taking things out of context.
Out of context.
And not being straight with the American people. And she knows what I said.
White House.
Yeah, we know what you said. You said the American people suffering are the only leverage, is the only leverage that you have in these negotiations. That's it. It benefits you. SNAP benefits are going to lapse this week in some states. Other states, including South Carolina, they're going to lapse at the beginning of November. That means women, infant children, that means all of these, family benefits that they have, those are going to go away. And the Democrats are going to try to blame the Republicans on this. We know that. But nobody is responsible except for these Democrats. So when we get all these families out there that are on financial assistance and all of a sudden that assistance dries up, it's the Democrats doing it. Blame them. They want to add, and we've been telling you about that, they want to add $1.5 trillion to our that continuing resolution. This is the same bill that they voted for several months ago in the One Big Beautiful Bill. It passed then. But because there's so much heat from the radical left wing of the Democrat Party that the Democrats feel like if they cave on this, they're going to get primaried and they're going to lose the election. This is really and truly all about politics. Nothing more. It's the fact that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are scared to death that they're going to lose their seats and ultimately lose their rear ends. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When he's not mowing his yard, he's mowing down liberal nonsense. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Let's go to the WRD talk line, 800-905-0989. We'll talk to Walter in Anderson. What's on your mind this afternoon, Walter?
Hello, Charlie. How you doing today?
I'm great, bud. Hope you are.
Just fine. I want to talk about the SNAP or food stamp benefits. Those are supposed to be supplemental, and they're only supposed to help you get from payday to payday. They're not supposed to help you keep you surviving, and you're not supposed to actually depend on them for your livelihood.
It's not supposed to be a lifestyle.
No, it's not. It's supposed to be supplemental. It's supposed to be temporary until you can get to a better place.
Yeah, what is it? Well, I mean, it's the difference between a hand out and a hand up. A lot of people on these programs, they just want the hand out. They don't want the hand up. They have no intention of going to work. That's why the Democrats were so upset when they found out that in the Medicaid program, they were actually going to require able-bodied people to go out and get a job. What? Are you kidding me? All right, let's go to Donald in Marion, North Carolina. How you doing, Donald?
All right, Charlie. I just wish somebody would check in and see how many of these illegals come in, the Social Security card, run the Social Security office, and say, I'm disabled, I can't work. Then they get their disability and Medicare, not Medicaid, Medicare.
Right.
And all of the benefits then with the Medicaid and the food stamps and all of that. And another thing, I appreciate you preaching what's in that bill, because they keep hollering health care for American people. They don't say American citizens.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's just a small portion of the bill. They want everything put back in that was taken out in the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah.
They want every penny spent that was allotted. Knocking for.
Yeah. I mean, you're unbelievable. You're right about that, Don. And you're exactly right. It's not just about Medicare or Medicaid. It's not just about illegal. It's about all of them. Fully fund NPR. But what he was talking about there, listen to this. Listen to this. Social Security numbers issued to non-citizens. Oh, they don't have Social Security numbers. Oh, they don't? They don't? 2021. Who was president in 20? Oh, that's right, Joe Biden. 2021, 270,000 Social Security numbers issued to non-citizens. 2022, 590,000 Social Security numbers issued to non-citizens. 2023, 964,000 Social Security numbers issued to non-citizens. 2024, between 2,095,000 and 2,100,000 Social Security numbers were issued to non-citizens. Grand total, 5.5 million. 5.5 million Social Security numbers were issued to non-citizens under Joe Biden. But no, illegal aliens, they're not getting any benefits. No, of course not. Oh, my gosh. They're crazy. They really are nuts. Everything that they argue against, they're wrong. Everything they argue for, they're wrong. They're just wrong all the time. The Affordable Health Care Act was anything but affordable. If it were so affordable, why wouldn't we need those Obamacare subsidies just to keep it afloat? It hurt. It hurt people. Everything that they promised about it, everything they promised, none of it came true. It's a lot like Al Gore and his predictions about the environment. None of those things came true either. Everything they said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Nope, couldn't do that. you don't have to sign up for Medicare. Did you realize this? I say you didn't have to sign up for Obamacare, but you could not leave your health care provider and go sign up with another health care provider, because if you did, you had to automatically be placed on Obamacare. Did you know that? They lied to you about it, and they did this. They passed. Remember, this was the famous bill where Nancy Pelosi said, we got to pass it to find out what's in it. Crazy. Everything the Republicans said about Obamacare turned out to be true. But we are right a lot, aren't we? We're right about a lot of things. Have you noticed something since the government shut down? I've had this pointed out to me several times. And I'm kind of looking out at the window right now, right over Woodruff Road. I'm looking at the sky and how blue it is. It's very blue today. Beautiful sky today. You know what I don't see out there? You know what I don't see in the skies right now? I don't see any white lines going across the sky. Have you noticed that? I've had several people have pointed this out. That ever since the government was shut down, all of a sudden those white lines that used to streak across the sky have disappeared. Well, Lee Zeldin over at the EPA, he made a comment today, and I want you to listen to what he said, because one part in particular really made my ears perk up. Here's Lee Zeldin.
To anyone who's ever looked up to the streaks in the sky and asked, what the heck is going on? Or seen headlines about private actors and even governments looking to blot out the sun in the name of stopping global warming? We've endeavored to answer all of your questions at the links on your screen. In fact, EPA shares many of the same concerns when it comes to potential threats to human health and the environment, especially from solar geoengineering activities. The enthusiasm for experiments that would pump pollutants into the high atmosphere has set off alarm bells here at the Trump EPA. Prior to now, EPA has never been this proactive to raise awareness about concerns with geoengineering and to stop this activity from being scaled up.
Wait a minute. Let's go back and listen to that again.
Here has set off alarm bells here at the Trump EPA. Prior to now, EPA has never been this proactive to raise awareness about concerns with geoengineering and to stop this activity from being scaled up.
To stop it from being scaled up? Well, in order to scale something up, it has to have been started, right? Let's go to Steve in Greenville. Steve, welcome.
Yep, not today, but yesterday and the day before, there were chemtrails
Did
in
you
the
see
sky. I see them every time.
All right.
I'm out and about, but now I tell people, and they give me this glazed over look
They
when
give
I
you a
tell
look,
them that.
yeah.
Well, but they're not awake yet. So
That's
there you
right.
go.
All right, I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you very much. Got to hit a break here. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
America is back.
Yes, sir. Or at least we're trying to get back, except the Democrats keep the government shut down. Well, this is from the Department of Social Services. As previously announced on October the 1st, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA started the SNAP benefits, stated the SNAP benefits will be paid and approved and qualified households for October 2025 during the federal government shutdown based on guidance received by South Carolina Department of Social Services. With the continued federal government shutdown, there may be no SNAP benefits paid for November of 2025. That means November 1st, if this government is still shut down, there will be no supplemental nutritional assistance program benefits, SNAP benefits, to folks here in South Carolina. What does this have to do with food pantries? Let's talk to State Representative Jordan Pace, who joins us right now. Jordan, welcome. I hope you're doing well.
Hey, Charlie. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. You sent a letter to Governor McMaster talking about the food pantries. How does you're talking about regulations and all of this about food pantries. What are those regulations?
So honestly, the second part of that about the temporary food establishments, the TFEs,
right?
That's really the core of what that message is about. For as far as food pantries, they're statewide. There's not a lot of regulation around them on the state level. Most of the food pantry regulations are from the U.S. Department of Agriculture for receiving things like SNAP, not quite SNAP, but something along with it.
Right.
So that's not something the governor can affect. As far as food pantries go, there are some local business licenses and things like that, local, municipal, county level stuff that the governor could waive, for a period of time. The real crux of it is the TFEs, and here's why those matter. This is for places that aren't normal food banks or food pantries. This is churches. This is community organizations, individuals that just want to go set up a place for people to come and get necessary resources, food, dry goods, staples like that. In a normal circumstance, they could have to do an application. It takes 14 days. It's $50 to $100, depends on what you're doing. That is really what I'm asking the governor primarily to get involved and waive that for the next 30 days or however long these SNAP benefits go away for folks, just so the community can more effectively help our community.
So what you're telling me is, let's say I got a brand new church pops up, and they decided to open a food pantry when SNAP benefits are postponed or delayed. Do you have to actually have a license to do that? A permit?
They could. It is depends on the bureaucrat. In some places, you might be able to get away with it, but if let's say if a church or community organization wants to set up in hot dogs, hamburgers, something hot food that's not just boxes of Spam and stuff.
Right.
Then they're supposed to get, according to the law, these temporary food establishment permits, and it takes 14 days. And I mean, it's this whole rigmarole. Frankly, I don't think we need to have it to begin with.
No.
It's a necessary regulation to start. But in the meantime, until we roll it off the books permanently, that's what I'm asking the governor really to get involved and waive.
Yeah, I mean, because this is going to affect a whole lot of people here in South Carolina. What did you let's see? 260,000 households in South Carolina?
And a huge number of that are kids or children.
Yeah.
I think it's like 1 in 5 SNAP recipients are children. And in South Carolina, we do have a work requirement other than kids. So if you're able-bodied, in order to get SNAP, you do have to be employed already.
Right.
So I've seen, and justifiably, I think there's a lot of waste and graft and
sure
things like that. But there is a work requirement on there as long as you're an adult.
Right.
But yeah, it's affected a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. 260,000 people, and that's coming to an end November the 1st. I mean, sitting here and watching, and again, this is a Democrat shutdown, pure and simple,
Absolutely.
right? I mean,
they're holding out. The Senate Democrats are holding out to give more and more money to USAID and ostensibly to fund these foreign things, but in reality, we know that where that's actually going thanks to DOJ.
Yeah, it's coming right back to them. Unbelievable. Yeah, have you heard anything back from the governor's office yet?
He has received it. I think they're looking at it and see how that can be best done. But I want to see a lot more free market solutions, not just spend more government money, more of other people's money.
Yeah.
And I think this would be a good, easy first step, free market solution. That's what the Freedom Caucus is all about.
Have you heard any pushback against this?
None of any serious nature. There's a couple of Democrats that hopped in social media and were arguing with reality that it is in fact a Democrat shutdown.
Right.
But for the most part, no sane, reasonable pushback at all, because it's a very reasonable request.
You're exactly right. All right, so we've got Lee Bright winning the Senate. We've got Steve Nail. We've got Diane Mitchell in a runoff for the House. How are things looking coming up for the for the primaries that are coming up? You folks in the Freedom Caucus looking at making some more gains?
Yeah, it looks that way. I was very happy to see my friend Lee Bright heading back to the Senate.
Yeah.
I've known Lee, he's known me since I was a little kid. Growing up in Spartanburg, so very happy to see that. I endorsed Diane Mitchell early on. She's been a friend for a long time, getting Save Women's Sports passed as when she was involved with the Republican Women's Group.
Right.
Yeah, I'm optimistic. Even in Columbia, there's a special election down this way in a few weeks. There's some real solid principled conservatives that are running, and in a special election, everybody's got a chance. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm optimistic.
We're going to keep an eye on these primaries that are coming up. From the Freedom Caucus, South Carolina Representative Jordan Pace. Always a pleasure, sir. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Take care. Bye. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. happen, type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome back to the program. Let's go to the WRD Talk line. We'll talk to Melissa in Malden. How you doing, Melissa?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good to
What's
hear
up?
ya. So I just want to go ahead and say something.
All right.
I do want to talk about the SNAP stuff, and I do understand that people need help. It is a temporary thing if you're an able-bodied person to go to work. It is not a long-term solution.
Yeah, not a lifestyle.
Myself, I am almost 50 years old. I work 3 jobs. My husband is retired, and I got let go from a job a year and a half ago because of political reasons.
Right.
I had never been written up, never been in trouble. I was the highest selling employee. But what I have a problem with is all of these people going on TikTok and X and wherever else, and they're complaining about they got 5 kids and they can't feed their kids, but you see a whole pantry behind them full of food. And they're complaining, they need to get a job.
Yeah.
I am tired of working 60 hours a week at 50 years old and my husband being retired at 70, and he had to go back to work part-time because we have to be able to feed our family.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourselves.
I mean, we got 5 dogs. We've got us.
Yeah.
And I am so tired of these people complaining when they can go get a job. Their kids in daycare that's paid for free. Their houses are paid for free. Their food's paid for free. And us people who are working 60 hours a week, and my poor husband that's retired has to go back and work part-time just to help these people pay their food.
I
And
understand.
you
It's
see 'em
frustrating.
you see them at the grocery store, and they've got 3 buggies full of stuff, and I literally have a list and a calculator and a budget.
I understand. Oh, my goodness. I get it, Melissa. I understand your pain, but that's what the Democrats want. I appreciate it. Let's go to Christian with the Upstate Conservatives, I believe. Christian, welcome.
Hey, Charlie. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Yes, we have an election on November the 4th for Spartanburg County Council District 3. Paul D. Abbott Jr. is on the Republican ballot for this race. We have a Catherine Harvey, a Democrat, running against him from the same seat. She has raised $64,000 this last Fallon quarter, so she has a decent amount of purse for this district. And if people out there listening, if you live in County Council District, please vote now. Early voting is occurring right now, or on November the 4th. The districts includes places like Packlet, Cowpen, Springdale, Drayton, Converse Heights, Glen Forest, Clifton, and Glendale.
All right. That sounds good. We got to let these people know about these elections. Now, that one's coming up November the 4th?
November the 4th. Early voting is now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Christian. We appreciate
sir.
that. Thank you. Well, what's going on with the price of beef? Now, the cattle ranchers were really complaining that all of this foreign beef coming in was hurting them, and it was hurting beef prices here in the United States. So they were asking President Trump to put tariffs on the imports of beef. So he did. He did. I mean, the main focus was on Brazil. That gives around 20% of U.S. beef imports. That dropped 30%. Then you had Canada and Mexico. Trump put a 25% tariff on them. All countries, baseline tariff of 10%. And in all, over the past year, in 2025, beef imports beef imports from other countries have fallen 41%. 41%. That's a significant amount. So now you've got beef prices absolutely skyrocketing. They are up 15% in 2025 alone. So now this is the average. This is the average. Ground beef running about, $7 a pound. If you get the 80/20, it's about $5 a pound. Now, either of those prices, if you can find it, you need to buy it, because I've seen it a lot more expensive than that. So now the question is, from Donald Trump, it's listen, I cut out all of these tariffs. I gave all these tariffs on the imports of beef, and now the price of beef is going up, and the American people are hurting at the table. So what should I do? What is the answer to this? You know, when you go to the market, how expensive it is. Well, there's only one of two options. Either the price of beef comes down, or people just stop buying beef. And I've had several people tell me that they don't buy beef anymore. They go for chicken, or they go for turkey, or they go for pork. So something's going to have to happen with this price of beef. But a lot of people are blaming Trump on this, because what he has done is he's gone to Argentina, and he's basically lowered their tariffs to a low tariff quota. And it's very low. It's lower than the all countries baseline after the quota amount is met. But he's trying to bring some of this beef into the United States in order to make the price go down, because it's hurting the average American people, average American at the table. Over the past year, the price, and this is from Epoch Times, over the past year, the price of beef has risen far faster than all other food items and outpaces inflation. According to the latest statistics by the Department of Agriculture, the price of ground beef, the most sold beef item in the United States, averaged about $7 a pound. And again, if you can find it at $7, buy it. The price for 80 to 89% lean ground beef sold in 2 to 4 pound packages, that was about $5 a pound. Again, buy it. That increase is more than twice as high as the overall price hike for all animal proteins, and nearly 5 times as high as the overall increase in food prices. Overall prices, as measured by the Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers, have increased by 2.9%. Beef has gone up 15%. So what's the president supposed to do? Now, we all know that there are a lot of factors here. The price of feed has gone up. The price of fertilizer to put on the hay fields has gone up. The droughts that have happened, that is, and we're in a cycle right now. And cattle farmers are having to make a decision. Do you take your heifers once they are mature? Do you have them calve and wait 2 to 3 years to send the calf to market? Or do you send the heifer directly to market, therefore diminishing the size of your herd? It's a wildly complicated thing going on right now, but I think we need to just, and again, I don't know who sets the prices. Who sets the prices of beef out there? Does anybody know? Who is the main head honcho? Is the National Cattlemen Ranchers Association? I have no idea. But it is hurting the American people. I know it's hurting my pocket. Absolutely. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
This is Mark Levin. Join me tonight at 7 following Charlie James for the Mark Levin Show, a News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Chat with Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, it's happened again, ladies and gentlemen. An illegal alien with a CDL license is responsible for 3 deaths.
Cam video from inside a Freightliner truck showing the moment the driver plowed into several cars stopped ahead of it on the westbound 10 freeway in Ontario. A total of 8 vehicles involved in the crash. 3 people were killed. The truck driver arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs.
For us officers, it's really horrific to see not just a deceased person, but knowing that that person's family is going to receive the worst possible news of their life.
All because someone was allegedly under the influence.
This is one of those incidents that it could have definitely been preventable.
It happened just after 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. One of the victims, identified as a 54-year-old man from Upland. 2 of the other people who died were burned so badly in the fire they haven't been identified. Cam video from inside a Freightliner.
Unbelievable. That is unbelievable. 21-year-old Jashanpreet Singh, an Indian national who entered the U.S. illegally in 2022, drove a semi-truck under the influence of drug into stop traffic on Interstate 10 near Ontario. Unbelievable. Ontario, California. Causing a multi-vehicle collision that killed 3 people, including a high school coach and his wife, injuring 4 others. He got a commercial driver's license in California despite his undocumented status. He faces 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, maybe up to 25 years in prison. The incident has triggered federal investigation into California's licensing practices and withheld $40 million in funding for failing to verify the legal status and English proficiency for CDL drivers. Unbelievable. This is Gavin Newsom for you. This is Gavin Newsom. In fact, Secretary Sean Duffy tweeted out, this is exactly why I set up new restrictions that prohibit illegal immigrants from operating trucks. But the question is, how many are doing that right now? California, he goes on to say, must join every other state in the U.S. in enforcing these new actions to prevent any more accidents and deaths. Joe Biden led him into this country. Gavin Newsom gave him sanctuary. And now 3 people are dead in a fiery crash. What? I mean, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, these people are driving around. I mean, these vehicles are heavy, and they travel at a high rate of speed. And the fact, well, remember the guy that made the illegal left-hand turn in front of the minivan, killing 3 people? Just, about a month ago now? That guy failed an English proficiency exam that was administered after that accident. Not only did he fail that exam, but when shown 14 traffic signs, he was only able to identify 3 of those traffic signs. This is Democrats for you. The fact that they allow that to happen, and you know what, I got to put some blame on some of these schools. Not all of these CDL schools are like this, but some of these CDL schools, they're just farms. They're just factories. People go in, boom, they're out of there. They even allow you to have a so-called interpreter with you if you don't speak English to take your CDL license exam. Now, do you think those interpreters might also be giving the answers to the questions? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But how much? Listen, well, I know this. If Gavin Newsom becomes president of the United States like he wants to, forget it. It's over. If any Democrat does that, because they're all behind this stuff, this is all their policies. Good gracious. 3 people dying because Gavin Newsom decided to let an undocumented, illegal immigrant get behind the wheel of a tractor trailer. Unbelievable. Let's go to Trevor in Traveler's Rest. Trevor, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. What's up, man?
I was calling about. I'm glad you brought up the subject of the meat.
Yeah.
And the agriculture.
Right.
It's a subject that I'm very passionate about. And these people, these farmers, they really are the voice, the canary in the coal mine. And they get the attention for a few moments, and it seems like it dissipates. But as far as I'm not an expert on all this. I don't have all the information. But in a roundabout, as far as the pricing, as far as what I've learned and studied and talked to people, is the meat packers. When they sit, and it's this is a pact that they signed years ago, 2 or 3 decades.
So you're saying the meat, it's not really the price of the beef that comes off the ranch. The price is jacked up at the meat packing plant?
The meat packers, yes.
The middleman, I guess.
They send these to I can't remember. It's a foreign country. It's nowhere near us, and they jack up the prices. And there's a farmer. They just started talking about this. It's online, and he's saying that the price of inflation, as far as farming and agriculture and in their circle, is just catching up. The price of inflation is just catching up from 1980 with them, which means they've adjusted to where they can profit slightly more. But it's
a hard it's a hard life, it's a hard industry, but it's absolutely necessary. And now, Trevor, we got to do something to help our farmers. I appreciate your call, thank you. But I mean, when you look at the price of beef right now, so what's the option? And like I said, the only option about the beef is one of two things. Either, unfortunately, we import more beef into the market, and that's going to lower the price for the consumer, or people are just going to stop eating beef. There's a reason why people don't go out and have caviar once a week. It's too expensive. Other than the fact that it's horrible. And I don't understand why people eat it. I don't get it. But anyway, that's the only solution. Either the price comes down or people are going to stop eating beef. And if people stop eating beef, I think that's going to hurt the farmers even more than the imports. Let's go to Shannon and Shelby. Shannon, what's going on with you?
Hey, I just tuned in a few minutes ago, but talking about that Gavin Newsom and all that.
Yeah.
With the illegal aliens, I used to live in Charlotte about 20-something years ago, and I knew about 6 different people that were illegal, and every one of them had multiple IDs.
Really?
So I'm wondering if they can just go vote multiple times, and if they deport them, if they can use those IDs just to come right back in.
Well, that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? You get deported under one name, you re-enter under another.
Yep.
Yeah.
They need to do the DNA and do it. And back, I used to be on drugs years and years ago, and I'd go to jail for petty stuff, and they took our DNA.
Yeah.
They
Or
said, "You
those,
aren't getting out of jail."
good gracious, when I get on a plane, they got to scan my face.
Yeah, they need to take all of them's DNA to make sure it matches with whatever ID they choose to use.
Yeah. Anything to stop the flow of illegal immigrations. I appreciate it, Shannon. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When the left spins, Charlie sets it straight. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Interact on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the WORD talk line, 800-9050-989. We'll talk to Jason in Pelzer. Jason, welcome.
Hey, man, what's going on, Charlie?
This is Ed. What's up with you?
Oh, I just want to talk to you about the beef prices. You asked a question earlier about who controls or who set the market price.
Yeah, who does that?
Well, there's 4 major U.S. packers in the United States. Tyson Foods, JBS, Cargill, and U.S. Beef. That's your 4 major packers.
Okay.
They control the beef price. And 2 of those is the largest. JBS is owned by a country, guess who? Argentina.
Aha.
So,
I see.
The American rancher and farmer is not making all the money. The retailer and the packers are making all the money.
That is interesting because I guess with beef, I mean, once it leaves the farm, it doesn't go directly to your table. I mean, there's a lot of middlemen involved in this, right? Like you said, the meat packers, and then, of course, you got the retailers also taking their cut. So by the time it gets to us, that's why I like to go directly to the farm, you know, Jason?
That's right. That's right. And I would encourage anybody to go to a local farm that raises. There's plenty here in South Carolina, South Carolina grown. You can go on to the South Carolina Department of Agriculture's website, and you can look up anybody that sells local grown beef and support the local farmers.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to do it. I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much. We go to Bethel Farms. We go when they have the farmers market in Simpsonville, and then during the off season, which it's off season now for the farmers markets, we'll head out there, you know, when we get low on ground beef, and we'll buy from them because we want to support the local farmers. But my gosh, I mean, when you really take a look at how much beef has gone up, what, 15% just in this year alone? I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot, and that's hurting your kitchen table. It's hurting the pocketbooks. A lot of we had one texter a little while ago said that they blue. All they buy is chicken and fish, and that's it. Charlie, I sell grass-fed beef, $8 for GB, or is that LB? I don't know. Which one is it? I don't know. Let's see. Charlie just gave my you just gave my granddaughter 50 pounds of deer meat. That helps, doesn't it though? Doesn't it though? Charlie, I supplement the beef with chicken or pork or whatever. I don't eat much, but the rest of my family does, and that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you get when these prices are going to be this high, people are just going to stop buying it. Let's go to Ken and Nebo. Ken, welcome.
Yeah, hopefully I can fit in here quite well. Thank you for taking the call and letting me share.
Yes, sir.
I listened to an interview last night by a cattleman leader in the country. Jason probably recognizes him. He's Buck Warbin, and they asked him direct questions about the negative pluses or minuses of the Argentine assistance. And he said that because of the complexities of the market, that it was going to have a big effect on the futures market, which he said sometimes it's a year or so before the cattle get out of the fields and get to the market. So that's part of it. The lag time from cattle markets to the store is long in the years. He said the negative impact on producers is what will happen from this, but really he said nothing for consumers. And the reason being the forces of a herd being smaller because of drought, lack of feed, dry, fewer cows to process, common occurrence. But his point was is the markets will adjust. He feels the pain of the Argentina farmers. And he also pointed out that he voted for Trump, as most cattlemen and farmers voted for him. He said, we're his friends. But he said, we want to stress that it's not going to help consumer. And he said how they could help us, how Trump could help us, is to build a new station in and around Texas. There's a New World screw worm coming out of.
Lord.
That he said Argentina cattle too aren't the healthiest in the world. That's
Yeah.
not going to be good.
Right.
But coming out of Mexico, there's a new disease in cattle, and also the Endangered Species Act, which allows wolves to take down more of the cattle in the field. So
Oh
he
my
said the
gosh.
markets. He said the markets will adjust, and his stress and the cattleman's attitude is that as much as Donald Trump's trying to help them, that they don't need manipulation. I hope that helped the conversation there,
Yeah,
Charlie.
absolutely. Always, Matt. I appreciate it. Ken, I'm sorry.
care.
Let's go to Matt in Greenville. Matt, what do you think about the price of beef?
Charlie, there's a guy smarter than me who said the thing that'll fix inflation is inflation. And you're talking to somebody who I got old enough that the doctor told me to, quit eating, you really shouldn't be eating beef. And of course, being a red-blooded American man, I didn't listen to him.
Right.
And, but, when, as it has just gotten higher and higher, I just don't buy beef anymore. And, that when the demand, when the demand gets to a point that people just quit buying it, the price will come down.
Yeah,
Because
well, I mean,
what
maybe
fixes-
so. Maybe so.
Well, I mean, what fixes inflation is high prices.
Yeah.
And people just quit buying it. And I think that's, I believe in free market capitalism, and you get the price high enough and people will quit buying it. And I have made that choice.
Yeah. All right, Matt. I appreciate it. I think a lot of people are making that choice as well. I mean, when you look at the cost of it, one person said they are picking up half a cow today. Good for you. Good for you. Charlie, if you can afford, buy a whole side of beef. Yep, exactly. Now, I heard that one steer can provide 1,000 meals. Now, that's snout to tail. 1,000 meals. That's pretty amazing. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, this is Tara. Start your day with common sense information and opinion with me on The Tara Show tomorrow morning starting at 6. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
of it is
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, I got a text here that I don't understand, like which side of the issue they're on. So I will read it to you, and I'll let you decide. Charlie, you say the Dems are allowing the shutdown and possible EBT hold-on payments. Trump doesn't know all the details, so I guess everyone should suffer on November the 1st. Well, I do think Trump does know the details because it's not a complicated issue. The Republicans passed a clean resolution. This was no increase in spending, no decrease in spending. This is exactly what the Democrats voted for when they, including Chuck Schumer, voted for the One Big Beautiful Bill. All right? And they did that several months ago. But since they voted for the One Big Beautiful Bill and they got it passed, or they helped get it passed, the radical left wing of the Democrat Party, and we're talking about the AOCs and the whole Mondani crowd and all of that stuff, the nuts out there, the Rashida Tlaibs, all of those folks, they have really been coming down on Chuck Schumer and the Democrats that voted for the One Big Beautiful Bill. In fact, they're looking at primarying these people. So in order to save face and maybe save his own political career, and by the way, we are hearing that Nancy Pelosi might be stepping down in a couple of months. We'll give you details on that coming up, but they're feeling the heat from the radical wing of the Democrat Party. And folks, do not, I know they're crazy. I know they're nutty. I know they say stupid things. I know they don't appear intelligent. But they're not crazy. Are they devious? Absolutely. Devious, yes. Crazy, no. They're crazy like a fox. And they're trying to gain control of the Democrat Party. And that will be ultimately the ruination of the Democrat Party. And if they increase in power, it will be the ruination of this country. Because all they want is socialism. Now, they try to hide it by calling it democratic socialism, but it is socialism, pure and simple. So what they have done is now they have created a government shutdown in order to gain some sort of power so they can spend an additional $1.5 trillion. And I told you some of the things that they wanted to do. They went, locust, unbelievable, locust relocation in Africa. They're going to take the locusts that are here and they're going to put them over there for over $3 million. They want to keep funding NPR. They want to keep funding NSA, USAID. They want to keep funding all of these things that the One Big Beautiful Bill defunded. They want all of that back now. Well, the Republicans are like, no, we're not going to do that. So now the Democrats are blaming the Republicans. This is their shutdown, but we know it's not because all the Republicans, except for one, Rand Paul, have voted, 13 times now? 13 times to keep the government open. There was even a standalone bill today that would pay essential federal employees during the government shutdown. Democrats voted against that, you see. So this is their shutdown. And they think it's going to give them some sort of, well, here's what they think. Your pain helps them. Remember that. Remember that. Democrat Catherine Clark said that. And Chairwoman Lisa McClain over at the GOP, she said this.
Listen to what she said.
I know Americans will suffer, but I need to use their suffering as leverage. You have a complete contradiction. The Democrats are going to let the American families suffer. They're going to let pregnant mothers and people who are on WIC not have food, to use them as leverage? I mean, you have one party that's using the American people as leverage and the American people's suffering as leverage, and then you have Republicans that are actually trying to serve the American people. Are you kidding me? I think the American people are extremely upset about this. I can share with you the people in my community. They don't want their suffering to be used as leverage. And this is a political stunt. We put out a clean CR. No games, no gimmicks, no partisan wish list to continue to govern how government is supposed to work. And Catherine Clark wants to use suffering families as leverage.
And she's not the only one. Other ones like Bernie Sanders want to do it too. So what did Catherine Clark say? Well, here we go.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, you know, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have. I mean,
it's leverage. Your pain is their gain. Now, what we're hearing is the Republicans are doing a huge campaign ad with comments like this and comments from Bernie Sanders and comments from people like Ro Khanna and all of these folks out there that are just reveling in your pain. They think if you suffer enough, you will strike out at the Republicans and start screaming for them to get something done. It's their shutdown. Period. Even some folks like, you know, Wolf Blitzer over at the mainstream media on CNN, even they know it is. They know it's a Republican shutdown. So now you've got Catherine Clark. She's trying to walk back her statements, especially since it was highlighted by the White House press secretary.
Of it is looking especially at that last bit you said there, saying that Democrats, quote, are now admitting that they are intentionally causing American families to suffer with their reckless government shutdown. What's your response to that?
Well, that is right out of her playbook of half-truths, taking things out of context, and not being straight with the American people. And she knows what I said.
Yeah, we all know what you said. We heard what you said. The American people's pain and suffering is your leverage. You want to give health care to illegal aliens. That's what you want. But they play word games with that. And I'll tell you exactly what they're doing with it. And also, another conspiracy theory turns out to be absolutely true. And this one has to do with Hurricane Helene. Also coming up, Representative Yolanda Jones proves that the Democrats are the most violent among us. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour on the Charlie James Show. Afternoons 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Charlie Speaks, you listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome back to the program. So with the government shutdown, one of the talking points from the Democrats is that no illegal alien receives health care benefits. No illegal aliens. Well, they're playing a little word game here with you because under the Biden administration, if you came to this country illegally and you stepped across the U.S. border and you came in contact with a Border Patrol agent, a lot of these agents were designated as judges, or you went to a judge and they just herded you through like cattle, and they gave you parole, automatic parole. Why are you here? I'm seeking asylum. All right, you're on parole. Show up. What's the date of them to show up in 5 years for your hearing? So the Democrats consider them to be here legally. Now, we don't consider them to be here legally. Now, this is a program that was it was an automatic parole. It didn't matter if you were a criminal, if you were a drug smuggler, if you were a human trafficker. It did not matter if you were the most violent criminal, the gang member. It did not matter. You got parole. So again, they consider all these people here legally. They have legal status, according to the Democrats. Well, that little program has come to an end.
Cheryl, it was a quiet decision released last month that could impact millions of people in the country. A change to how immigration laws are enforced could mean anyone arrested will remain detained until they are deported. But some attorneys are now pushing back. This week, the federal government said in court that since July, more than 1,800 people have been arrested in the Chicago area. But having their day in court is not a guarantee. The immigration court is convoluted. It does not fall under the judicial branch. It falls under the executive branch.
What?
Separate from criminal court, a person's rights are much more limited. ABC 7 chief legal analyst Gil Sofer.
The proceedings in an immigration court, they're not criminal, they're civil. The question isn't whether someone has committed a crime. The question is whether they can be deported. And the rights are different.
Now, a new immigration court directive could keep people detained much longer before they're deported. In September, the Board of Immigration Appeals, the top administrative body which interprets and applies immigration laws, released a new decision. For the first time in American history, the court ruled immigration judges can no longer grant bond for undocumented immigrants who enter the U.S. without authorization, all but guaranteeing mandatory detention for those detained.
It is a monumental decision. It's a change in approach for sure.
DHS calling the ruling, quote, a big win for our ICE attorneys, securing our ability to detain illegal aliens until they are deported.
Yes. Okay. Great. Love it. No more of that automatic parole. And by the way, when they say bond, they mean signature bonds. You just have to sign your name or make your mark, and you're on your merry way. You know, do you have to sign? No, you could use the auto pen, apparently. That would be a great thing. Just auto pen that signature over there, JJ. So good. That's coming to an end. And it rightfully should. Illegal immigration has ground to a halt under President Trump. I said that's one of the issues that just, I mean, right off the bat, that was taken care of. So we no longer have this huge influx of illegal aliens coming across our border. I mean, it is dwindled. We're no longer seeing those scenes from Eagle Pass and El Paso and Brownsville and Yuma. We're no longer seeing those because they're non-existent. In fact, they're closing down some border crossing areas because they're not needed anymore. And what did that take? Did that take an act of Congress? No, not at all. That just took a new president. And now that we've got one, things are a-changing. But there were also some things happening under the Biden administration that kind of raised a lot of people's eyes. And for that, we have to go back to Hurricane Helene. Now, We all remember during Hurricane Helene, we heard that FEMA was bypassing anybody's home that had any sort of a political sign or a flag that was pro-Trump, pro-gun, or anti-Biden. And now we're finding out, and what did they say? Oh, that's not true. No, that's not true. That's not true. No, of course not. In fact, all of this actually started during Hurricane Milton down in Florida, where a FEMA supervisor told staff to avoid homes advertising Trump. 20 families down in Florida were skipped for aid. How about that? FEMA staff weren't just logging, this is from Matt Von Swoll, FEMA staff weren't just logging storm damage to people's homes like they were supposed to, they logged what people believed. These were the things that they put in writing in FEMA cases. Trump signs, pro-gun, anti-Biden. Let's listen to listen to this. Same pattern showed up multiple times between 2021 and 2024, including reviews after Hurricane Helene in western North Carolina. The investigation revealed that FEMA engaged in troubling overreach, violating the Privacy Act of 1974, and disregarding the DHS Fair Information Practice principles by improperly collecting and maintaining records tied to Americans' First Amendment activities. This conduct demonstrated a failure to protect data integrity and fairness in disaster relief decisions. It was a systematic violation that unfairly targeted individuals across the country. The prohibited collections of constitutionally protected information underscores a pattern of weaponizing federal power against Americans and abusing the trust placed on government institutions. So, yeah, oh, no, that's not happening, except that it was, and now it's in the report. Let's go to Robert in Inman. He wants to talk about the price of beef. What's going on, Robert?
Not a whole lot. I tell you, my dad went to school with J.D. Foster. He had Foster's Meat Market back in the day.
Yeah.
And my God, I mean, he sold a whole pile of beef and pork. So that's all right. They closed up now. So
Yeah, well, I tell you what, local meat packers are an absolute treasure. We appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much. WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. Let's go to the one and only JR in Westminster. What's going on, my friend?
Charlie, listen. I know there's so much going on that it probably has your head almost spinning because you literally the news left and right, up and down, forward and backward, all the stories that are coming at you, brother. But nobody can handle it like you can, Charlie. And look, and I'm prejudiced. I have to.
Yeah,
Mr. Hole in One.
Thank you.
I'm proud. I'm proud to be able to say I have I know a guy.
There you go.
And that has a but I'm telling you, the listeners, the way what you do, man, is greatly appreciated. And had an opportunity to talk to my dear friend, Mr. Mark Lynch. And I encourage people to check him out. He is indeed a Charlie James listener. And so that puts him just a notch above many of the rest, the fact that he listens to the one and only Charlie James, the conservative crusader himself. Charlie, keep doing what you're doing, my friend.
I'm going to do that, JR. You know, the hardest part of the job is deciding what not to talk about on a given
That's what
day.
I'm talking about,
It's
man.
tough.
That's what I'm
It is tough, man. All right, buddy, I appreciate it. Got to get a break here. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When nasty weather strikes, stay in the know with the upstate's largest staff of meteorologists 24/7 on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Let your fingers do the talking.
Text the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Have you ever seen online these videos of these really poorly behaved children? Throwing temper tantrums in the supermarket. I saw one kid that was punching his mother, another one trying to, buck up to his father. Listen, when you see those videos, you got to remember something. That's not the first time that happened. That was a long pattern of that behavior to get to that point. Because I guarantee you, any conduct like that, when I was growing up with my grandfather, it would have been nipped in the bud. Luckily, I never behaved that way because I knew it would not be tolerated. But you see, these kids are allowed to get away with it. And again, that's not the first time that's happened. This has been allowed by parents. I love when people say somebody be a real jerk and they'll go, oh, that's just JJ. He's like that. And whenever somebody says that to me, if somebody's rude and I go, what's wrong with that guy? Oh, he's just like that. Well, here's the thing though. The only reason people are like that is because they've been allowed to be like that. I never let an insult slide. I never do. I always point it out. Because I want that person to know that they're not going to treat me like that. You get to determine how people treat you. And if they insist on treating you poorly, remove them from your lives immediately. So why am I saying that? Because we're seeing behavior right now from the Democrats that they didn't just start. They didn't just start being the violent ones. This has escalated from a lifetime of no consequences whatsoever. They think they're allowed to go out there and do anything they want and say anything they want because they have always been allowed to do that. And now when they find out that they've got the cover of the mainstream media, well, now they get bolder. And now they feel like there's going to be no consequences. And they are the most violent among us. Let's go to this woman. Where is she? Let's listen to this woman.
Get this man out of here now. But if that doesn't happen, and we're not promoting it for 1 second, but if that doesn't happen, there will be violence. And these people had the opportunity to stop it. And they didn't.
Do you hear that? Do you hear what she's saying? If you don't change your behavior, if you don't change the way you think, there's going to be violence, and it's not our fault. Not our fault whatsoever. You are making us be violent. It's your fault. This is all on you. All on you MAGA supporters. Yep, they are violent. Listen to this guy. This is Moises Bernal.
You gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out. The state machinery, that's a full display right there, has to get wiped out.
So that's Moises Bernal. He's an employee of Wilbur Wright College. I hear he's been fired for that little outbreak. But it's not just him. Listen to this teacher. And I think I think he's in L.A.
Don't forget where you're standing. This is South Central Los Angeles. They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that.
So he's not the only one that's called for gangbangers to rise up and shoot ICE agents. I think you remember that it was a L.A. County councilwoman. She was calling for all the gang members to rise up against ICE. But it gets even worse than that. It really does. Because now we've got this woman, where is she? State Representative Yolanda Jones of Texas. I want you to listen to what Yolanda Jones said, and I will tell you the action that she makes. Here we go.
No, it absolutely doesn't work. I'm from the hood, okay? So when a bully comes, like, if there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out. So Donald Trump has changed things, and people trying to do what's always been done is not going to work. And I think that's why Democrats are losing black people. That's why they're losing poor people, because poor people, all they want is for us to fight. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck.
I'm going to go across your neck. And when she did that, she did the slashing motion. So I'm going to punch you in the face and I'm going to slit your throat. That's how crazy these people are. They're deranged. I'm from the hood. Please, let's go to David in Spartanburg. David, what do you think about the violent Democrats?
I think they're ridiculous, and they display the exact same behavior of narcissistic male abusers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have hit you if you hadn't have squeezed the toothpaste in the middle.
Right.
It's your fault that I had to hit you.
Yeah.
If you don't squeeze the toothpaste in the middle anymore, then I won't hit you again.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is. I mean, that's the pattern of abusers, isn't it?
That is the first thing I thought of when I heard what she said, but because I've heard it 100 times from women as a retired law enforcement officer. That is the exact same mindset they have.
Yeah. It's your fault that I got violent because I can't control myself. You're exactly right, David, exactly. So we got 461 out there. He says, or she, I don't know, immigrants make this country go round. They should get violent. Oh, really? You need to do some real self-examination, 461. You need to do some real self-examination. You are calling it. Now think about what, all right, 461, I want you to think about what you have become. And I want you to think about what you have created in yourself. This isn't, no external forces. No external forces can make you have an ideology like that. All of that is self-imposed. Out of the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you are able to type that into your phone or your computer, wherever you're texting from, that's what's in your heart. And that was self-inflicted. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Breaking news and what to make of it all with me, Mike Gallagher, tomorrow 10 to noon, right after Tara on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the WORD talk line. We'll talk to Clint up in Henderson County. How you doing, Clint?
Doing great. Hey, real quick observation here, just on my part. The Democrats, from what I've read, 20% are diehard. They will always pull the Dem lever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got Jesus on one side and Satan on the other, they're going to pull it for Satan.
Yeah.
But here's another one. 20% approximately of the United States citizens believe that zombies are real. So I'm thinking there's a correlation here.
Yeah, you are exactly right, Clint. I appreciate it. Saw something the other day that if the zombie apocalypse actually breaks out, the Democrats will set up a zombie defense fund. You know, they'll try to defend the zombies. Well, we've been talking about the Democrats and their rhetoric that's going on. I want you to listen to what Gollum himself, James Carville, said about you. Okay? He's not talking about, he's talking about you. Here's James Carville.
I think they all ought to have their heads shaven. They should be put in orange pajamas, and it should be marched down Pennsylvania Avenue, and the public should be invited to spit on them. All of these collaborators should be shaved, pajamaed, and spit on.
Yeah, that's what he feels like. Man, do you want to talk about a bitter, angry old man? James Carville, my goodness. He is absolutely horrible. Because what? Because what do we want? Because we want safe streets? Oh, no. Charlie, you can't have safe streets in America. That will violate people's rights. People have the right to be violent. That's the way they feel. They don't want you to be safe. The fact that we want to have a decent immigration system, the fact that we would like criminals to stay in jail once they are arrested. Listen, in Oklahoma, Stillwater, Oklahoma, there was a kid. He was a high school baseball player. He pled no contest to 11 violent sex charges, including violation of a restraining order, abuse, assault with strangulation, rape. He pleaded no contest. He was looking at 78 years in prison, pled no contest. He was going to jail. But a judge in Stillwater, Oklahoma said, nah, that's all right. You're a good kid. Go along your merry way. Completely waived the sentence completely. We just want violent people to go to jail. We want lawbreakers to go to jail. It really is crazy. And you know what? We would like to be able to live in our cities where we don't have Muslim prayers blasting 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Listen to this. This is Dearborn, Michigan. That is 5 o'clock in the morning. And we're not talking about, that's not going to one speaker. That's not coming out of one speaker. That's coming out of loudspeakers that are placed all throughout Dearborn, Michigan. How would you like to wake up every morning to that? Certainly, if you recommended, hey, I got an idea, Dearborn City Council, here's what we'll do. Right after those prayers, why don't we start the day, after the prayers, we'll also play a recording of Amazing Grace. Nope. That ain't going to happen. Would never happen. But the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, they get their prayers 5 times a day. Not only that, but at a rally in the middle of Dearborn, Michigan, they were chanting, "Death to America." This is from Fox News. They were chanting "Death to America," And Rashida Tlaib was asked about it and asked to condemn it. Let's see how that worked out.
Not a great look. The mayor condemned it. The White House condemned it. But what about Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib? She reps Dearborn. Is she okay with her constituents chanting death to America? Fox Business correspondent Hillary Vaughn asked her. Watch.
Congresswoman Tlaib.
Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News.
At a rally in your district, people were chanting death to America. Do you condemn?
Talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of death to America?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
Why can't you?
Of course she doesn't condemn it. Of course she doesn't condemn it. She agrees with it. She agrees with it 100%. You are wasting your time asking her about it. That's because she loves that. That's absolutely great. Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you. Charlie, they're doing that in Minneapolis. Minneapolis as well. Charlie, how about we blast Elvis singing Burning Love? That would be a hunk of burning love. Yeah, we can get that going on, and that'll get your day started, won't it? Charlie, that that call to prayer sounds evil, doesn't it? It really does. So, Charlie, did Trump really put out an AI video of himself in a plane wearing a crown and dumping excrement on protesters? Yes. Yes, he did. And Harry Sisson, you know that little soy boy, Harry Sisson, he is very upset about it. It was a joke. Oh my gosh. That's one thing you can say about Democrats. They have absolutely no sense of humor whatsoever. I mean, put out a video, Trump flying an F-16 with a crown on his head, dumping excrement on a crowd of protesters led by Harry Sisson. That's horrible. Call Trump a Nazi? No, that's completely acceptable. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Get breaking news sent straight to your phone for free. Download the Odyssey app. Follow News Talk 98.9 WORD. Stay in the know with the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I will be honest with you. The NBA could dissolve, go away completely, and it would probably be 2 years before I realized it. Somebody would have to tell me. Somebody have to come up and say, hey, Charlie, did you hear what happened to the NBA? No, I did not. Yeah, they dissolved. Oh, my goodness. Oh, okay. Even though my cousin LeBron plays for the Lakers, I still do not follow the NBA. I don't know what's going on. My family, LeBron James, we're still trying to get our cousin Letitia James to show up to the family reunion. Can't get in touch with her. Apparently, she's busy these days. Got a lot of things going on in court. I do miss my Aunt Etta, my great Aunt Etta, though. At last, my love has come along. Yeah, she was a great lady. But I could care less about the NBA. I really could. I know some grammar Nazis are going to say I couldn't care less about the NBA, but either way, I don't care. But then you hear a story like this. See, I didn't even know the season had started. Just one day into the 2025-2026 NBA season, the league was rocked by a sweeping federal investigation that exposed deep ties between NBA figures and the New York mafia families in illegal gambling schemes. No, say it isn't so. Over 30 people, including current and former NBA coaches and players, were arrested in 2 interconnected indictments unsealed in the Eastern District of New York. The operations, dubbed Nothing But Net for sports betting and Royal Flush for rigged poker, allegedly defrauded victims of tens of millions of dollars across 11 states. Let's listen to the folks at the Department of Justice talk about this.
3 of the named defendants are charged for their alleged roles in both schemes. This alleged illegal gambling operation hustled unwitting victims out of tens of millions of dollars and created a financial pipeline for La Cosa Nostra to help fund and facilitate their organized criminal activity. Victims were attracted to play alongside well-known professional athletes and coaches like Chauncey Billups, only to be unknowingly deceived through rigged shuffling machines, fixing the odds in their favor, as alleged and as you just heard from the U.S. Attorney's Office. This alleged scheme wreaked havoc across the nation, exploiting the notoriety of some and the wallets of many to fund the Italian crime families.
Unbelievable. That's crazy. They were using insider NBA info and high-tech cheating devices. 4 of New York's 5 families, the Bonanno, the Gambino, Gervasi, the Lucchese families were involved. I'm also hearing the Fettuccinis, the Marineras, the Calzones, and the Mozzarella families were, hey, here's what you're going to do here. You're going to throw this game tonight. Somewhere in the second half, you're gonna foul out, and you're gonna start double dribbling like your life depends on it, because it does over here. All right? You're gonna be helping us out over here, all right? You guys in the NBA, you guys over there. Oh my goodness. So you got Chauncey Billups, head coach, Portland Trail Blazers, acted as the face card, the celebrity lure in mafia-backed rigged poker games. He got cuts of the winnings. Terry Rozier, guard for the Miami Heat, used insider NBA player injuries performance for illegal bets. He's accused of manipulating games to influence outcomes. He was arrested down in Orlando. His lawyer claims he was cleared by the NBA back in 2023. Did the NBA do an investigation? Yeah, we are the NBA, and we found that there is no illegal gambling going on in the NBA, right? So says the NBA. Then you got DeMond Jones, player and assistant coach for the Cavaliers. He partnered with the Billups in poker schemes, lured victims using NBA fame, and he's charged in rigging some of these games out there. So insiders leak non-public info on player status, game strategies, and tanking to kind of skew the odds on some of these games. Bets replaced offshore sites for underground rings, netting millions. Rozier allegedly underperformed in games to pay off debts. Hey, Rozier, why don't you throw a double dribble in there somewhere? Why don't you? Yeah, why don't you? And I've seen some of these bad plays by Rozier. Oh, he's a real bad faker. Why? Hey, next time you pass the ball, why don't you throw it to the other team? Okay, yeah, that's the ticket. Mafia families provided backing and enforcement didn't get it. Man, I'm telling you what, that poker cheating, that's amazing. You've seen the automatic card shufflers, the shuffler machines, you put the deck in there and it shuffles them automatically and spits them out. Well, it reads the cards and knows what hands are going out. So they were able to relay all of that information to cheat in poker. This is crazy. This really is crazy. Though, the full indictments could reveal even more names and trials may drag on into 2026. But, of course, it is definitely a black eye for the NBA. Let's see. Charlie, traveling and double dribbling doesn't matter in the NBA anymore. Isn't that the truth? Neither does defense, apparently. There's no. That's about all I know about the NBA. There's not a lot of defense. Charlie, the NBA, oh, my gosh. Here we go. The NBA gambling scandal is a distraction. A distraction from what? What are we distracted from? Are we distracted from Democrats getting out there calling for violence? Are we distracted from the government being shut down? Are we distracted? No, it's just, here's the thing, though. It's just another news story. Is it a distraction from Three Eye Atlas? Which, by the way, we're hearing that NASA has now sent up a probe to look at this thing. That's pretty crazy. So, there you go. Pretty amazing. Charlie, meat shortage will soon be relieved by flying reindeer season. Before that, turkey season will be okay. Yeah, but I'd love to do me some turkey hunting. That would be a lot of fun. It really would. So, when we get back, some conservatives are demanding an immediate investigation after they found out that a lot of the money that was sent to help the homeless in California was actually going to Antifa. I know that shocks you. WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks, you listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome back to the program. Well, Stephen A. Smith over there at ESPN says that this whole thing that has to do with all of the gambling and the mafia and the NBA, it's all Trump's fault. Let's take a listen to this. Unbelievable.
How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a...
Yeah, it's all Trump's fault, right? It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault that the NBA got involved with the mafia. Let's go to Dave in Spartanburg because this is also an interesting story. Dave, welcome.
Hey, Charlie, great show as always. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir, thanks.
So a few days ago, old Governor Pritzker comes out and lets everybody know he's the world's best gambler, right?
Yeah,
Says he's won $1.5 million. I thought that was kind of odd. Who does that, right?
Exactly.
And then today, the FBI has this big bust. Well, next to selling homemade art, the best way to launder money and hide bribes is gambling.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, ho, ho, ho. Now, look here. A crooked card game can go both ways. The house doesn't always have to win. If you got a whale that you're trying to slick up, just go ahead and let him win big. And, hey, that's just gambling money.
Yeah.
And, there was a caller, and I don't remember if he was to your show or one of the other hosts, but mentioned that the Pritzker family does all the business in Chicago. You've got to grease the right palms to do business in Chicago.
Absolutely.
The right palms are the Pritzkers. So there you go. That was $1.5 million bribe. Because why would he come out? Here in the country we have a saying, the guilty speak. They're trying to get ahead of a bad story, just like Prince Andrew did with that book coming out.
Yeah.
So he comes out and says, well, hey, look, I'm not a prince anymore, you guys. So don't worry about what that book says.
Yeah, just move along.
The elite, they're just not used to having the law apply to them, and they think they're smart by half,
Yeah, they really do.
They're just not doing it.
You're right about that, Dave. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. So Governor J.B. Pritzker, who is worth $3.9 billion because he's the heir to the Hyatt hotel family chain, and he goes to a casino, and doggone it, don't you know it? He wins $1.4 million. And like the caller said, I mean, who does that? Nobody. Now, let me tell you what would happen. I'm going to tell you right now what would happen if this were a conservative. Let's say any member of President Trump's cabinet went out and won $1.4 million at a casino. First story would be just like the caller said. It was rigged. Oh, they cheated on behalf of this person. And then the story would be, oh, they've got a gambling problem. Oh, no. We've got to get this person out. Or we should never let this person be passed through the nomination process. No, there's a gambling problem there. And therefore, that makes them bribable. Not bribable, blackmailable. Because of their gambling debts. Who do they... All right, so we know how much Pritzker won with the $1.4 million. How much did he lose? That's what I want to know. And how much of that gambling debt was forgiven by the casino? Because they consider that, the IRS considers that to be income as well. But, hey, it's all gambling. It's all money laundering. It's just moving funds from one area to the other, which is exactly what they're doing in California. There was supposed to be this whole big program in California with non-government organizations, NGOs, to help the homeless. And have you noticed, no, I said California, I didn't mean California, Washington State. Have you noticed that the homeless population in Washington State has not gone down? In fact, it has increased? Wait a minute. They've got all this money going to the homeless. Where could that money be going?
Rich, it's not just conservatives who say this is happening, is it?
Hi, Elizabeth. No, these are voices across the political spectrum here in Seattle, all grappling with the issue of homelessness, which is essentially a drug crisis as well, which you can see in virtually every park here in Seattle. I want our viewers to take a look at this park where the homeless essentially have taken over all their drug paraphernalia. We've spoken with 3 people here, many people, but 3 people, a reporter, a longtime police officer, and someone who works inside the homeless advocacy here. And what they say and what we saw is beyond shocking.
Pretty much all the drug addicts, criminals, black market of stolen goods, it all thrives here. I mean, look at this guy, completely blitzed out of his mind. He's ODing on something, has a sandwich in his hand. I mean, this, again, is a drug crisis.
Jonathan Cho is a reporter for Turning Point USA and a researcher for the Discovery Institute, a conservative group which collaborated on the report.
It's a totally lawless environment, Rich, and the city just allows this.
But more than they do allow it. So where's all that money going? So all of this money comes in to fight homelessness, and there's always these big campaigns. Give to help the homeless. Oh, help the homeless. So people give the money to these NGOs. And just like we always tell you, the money does not stay there. That NGO takes their little cut. They pass it on to another NGO who takes their cut. And by the time it gets to the actual homeless, it's literally pennies on the dollar. But where is that money going? Can you guess? They're giving it to fund domestic terror groups like Antifa. So all these people in Washington State are they're out there, they're trying to be good citizens. They're trying to do what they feel is right. Honey, let's send $10 to the Homeless Advocacy Fund. Okay, darling, we are good people. You're not sending it to the Homeless Advocacy Fund. You're sending it to Antifa, because that's what they do, is they turn around and take it and give some of that money to these domestic terrorist organizations. I sat down one day with State Treasurer Curtis Loftus, and we did not talk about finances. We talked about NGOs. And he told me something that I had never realized before. He said NGOs are who drives policy in this state and in this country. And he went on to explain just how much power even the small NGOs have an unbelievable amount of power. And that's not right, because I don't remember ever going to the polls and voting for an NGO. Do you? Now, remember, it was Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams started an NGO with $100, which I think is the minimum amount that you can have to open a checking account at a bank or a bank account. Minimum amount. Open that account with $100. They were given over $2 million by the Joe Biden administration. Good gracious. You want to talk about a scam and a racket? Only thing I can say is, why didn't I think of that? We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. Tap and type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome back to the program. I made a mistake. Yes, I'm admitting it. I said that Stacey Abrams' NGO got $2 million. That was incorrect. I apologize. It was $2 billion. Yeah, Stacey Abrams hitting a lot more fancy buffets these days than she used to. WRD Talk Line 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. Well, we got some races coming up. We know we just had the elections here, but got some other races that could be some very consequential. Number one, we've got that New Jersey governor's race where Trump endorsed Jack Ciattarelli is now surging against Mikey Sherrill. Now, Mikey was accused of she wasn't allowed to walk at her graduation. I forget which military academy she went to. But she went to a military academy, and she wasn't allowed to walk because she got involved in a cheating scandal. So if she'll cheat in college, imagine what she'll do in the governor's mansion. But apparently, Jack Ciattarelli is doing quite well. Back in September, Sherrill was, could you imagine a Republican governor of New Jersey? Man. Oh, the Democrats would lose their ever-loving minds. So back in September, Sherrill had 48% of the vote. Ciattarelli had 41%. Now she's got 48% and he's got 44%. He is moving up in the polls, and that is a bad sign for the Democrats. That means that, well, let me just take a look. I don't know if we've got any brand new polling data on this, but let's just take a real quick look here. Let's see, where are they? No, go away. Here we go. All the latest polls. Let's see if we can bring them up here. Come on now. Well, when it decides to come up, we will do. Let's see. So we've got. So now Cheryl's at 45. I'm sorry, Cheryl is at. This is from Rutgers and Eagleton. Sherrill is at 50%. Ciattarelli's got 45%. That's only a 5, and you know, it's a couple of points outside the margin of error. So this could be a thing. So when you now look at that Virginia governor's race, this woman Spanberger has got 54%. Winsome Earl Sears has got 42% of that race. I don't understand I do understand what's going on in Virginia because you've got all the folks in that Arlington area, which is just a suburb of Washington, D.C., absolutely packed with liberals. They're blue dog. I'm sorry, they're yellow dog liberals. They'll vote for a Democrat, no matter even if a yellow dog ran as a Democrat, they'd vote for it. So that's going to be a tough slog for Winsome Earl Sears. But over on Morning Joe, Mika Brzezinski. I tell you what, I'm not sure who's dumber, her or Morning Joe. Listen to what she says.
It really is incredible when you have Abigail Spanberger, Mikey Sherrill, her background, all the different jobs that she has held in the military, and also like Alyssa Slotkin. I mean, my God, these women are incredible. And to them, I would say, fight, because we need them. Yeah. We need them leading.
And Mikey is like, she's doing a ton of interview. You know, when I talked to them, when I was in the car, you know, it was this car, she had gone from interview to talk to, but you know, you still see the anxiety.
Yeah, Sherrill did have a few missteps in her campaign, but she still has, as you say, about a 5 or 6 point lead per polling. Spanberger's lead in Virginia a little bigger than that, but you know, both still competitive races here heading into the last couple of weeks. But to Mika, to Molly's point, I mean, this is something that a lot of Democrats are grappling with right now. Is they've nominated women 2 of the last 3 elections for the presidency, lost both. There are some who say, well, we can't do that again. The stakes are too high. But of course, that does fall into the same misogynistic trap.
Other countries have no problem electing women.
In that Virginia race, you got 2 women. You see, Mika, it's not that this country has a problem electing women. This country has a problem electing Democrat women. There's a huge difference there, right? I mean, after all, Hillary Clinton, good gracious. Could you imagine listening to that voice? And she would have won re-election, barring something. Could you imagine listening to Hillary Clinton for 8 years? Could you imagine listening to Kamala Harris 1 moment longer? No. See, the problem with Democrat women is they're all so, what is the word I'm looking for? Vile. They are vile. There's nothing pleasant about them. There's nothing nice. There's nothing endearing about them. I don't care how many different accents Hillary puts on. I don't care how many different accents Kamala Harris put on. I don't care how many times she faked a laugh. She just did not connect with the American people. So now that we're hearing that they're redrawing some of the districts in Texas, it looks like one of our congresswomen, Jasmine Crockett, is going to be out of a job. Well, now we're hearing that Jasmine Crockett is actually looking at running for the Senate in Texas. Could you imagine Jasmine Crockett, the dumbest? I mean, she makes Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez look like a Rhodes Scholar. Could you imagine her as a senator? I don't think she'll win that race. I really don't, because it's a statewide race. Now, she may be popular in her district, but I don't think statewide she's going to win anything like that in Texas. So at least fingers crossed there, right? But again, it's not that we don't want to elect women. I don't have a problem with electing a woman. It's which women that you're looking at electing. Are they angry all the time? Are they bitter? Is their face all scrunched up? Can you just tell that they're on the verge of an absolute nervous breakdown at any moment? No, I'm not voting for that person. They don't have the calm, cool, and collected candidates, female candidates, like we do. But there you go. I really don't get them. All right, Charlie, let's see. Not all of us. Oh, this is 461 again. 461's back, y'all. 461's back. Not all of us identify as one or the other like myself. I call it like I see it. F the party affiliation. How's those apples taste? Well, pretty dumb. Those are dumb apples. Because I've read all of your text, and I know exactly which side you affiliate with, 461. Charlie, yes, absolutely. So 461 says, so I guess all Democrats are devils. Yes. Yeah, I don't have a problem with saying that. I don't have a problem with saying that anybody that defends criminals, anybody that calls for attacking law enforcement, anybody that wants to defund law enforcement, anybody that wants babies to be aborted up to and including and after the moment of birth, no. I don't have a problem with calling those people evil, the devil. I don't have a problem whatsoever. Not one bit. So, Charlie, I sent you a text about helping our less privileged neighbors. Well, please, again, ask your listeners to support their working poor families and people, let's see, not sure. Poor families, people with babies, medically fragile people. Tonight, about half an hour ago, there was a shooting at the Food Lion over an EPT card. People are scared, and people have guns. Where is that coming from? People have guns, and it's going to get potentially worse. Katie, well, there you go. Charlie, Democrats said fight, but criticized Trump for it, right? I do understand. All right, we'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WRD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of nonstop breaking news and stimulating talk kicks off every hour.
On the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Chat with Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, you've all seen the video of the illegal alien truck driver who plowed into a line of cars, causing an 8-car pileup on Highway 10. He's, like I said, an Indian illegal alien. He was caught and released at the California border by the Biden administration in March of 2022. If you've not seen the video, it is horrific. It is horrific. Now, per multiple ICE sources, Janaspreet Singh, that driver, ICE is placing a detainer request on Singh with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, where he is in custody on suspicion of DUI, causing great bodily injury and gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. Hasn't been formally charged yet, as of, maybe he has by now, but we'll see. Police say Singh was speeding and under the influence, never hitting the brakes when he crashed into slow-moving traffic on the freeway, causing a devastating and deadly chain reaction that killed 3 people. The victims, some of the victims, were burned so badly that they could not be identified. That video is horrible. Where did this guy, Jashanpreet Singh, where did he get his CDL?
Being reported that the semi-truck driver suspected of killing 3 people in a DUI crash is an illegal immigrant who came in under the Biden administration. Do you know if California gave him a commercial driver's license? And then it also appears that California largely has not been cooperating with English proficiency standards. I'm wondering if the administration has any further plans to punish the state.
Yes, I can confirm that California gave this individual a license, and it is something that the Department of Transportation has already looked into. I know Secretary Duffy, who's doing a phenomenal job, has spoken on this many times in the crackdown that the Department of Transportation is taking on these licenses that are wrongfully being issued to people who clearly do not deserve to uphold these positions. As for this case in California, on October 22nd, ICE lodged an immigration detainer for this individual following his arrest by local authorities in California on charges, as you know, of manslaughter while intoxicated and driving under the influence. He killed 3 people, and he first entered the United States in 2022 through the southern border, and he was released into our country by the previous administration. So now ICE has lodged a separate detainer for this individual, and these tragedies are following a disturbing pattern of these criminal illegal aliens being issued commercial vehicle licenses.
And they can't even speak English. But this is a huge problem in California.
California had issued 62,000 CDLs, drivers who entered illegally, John, or do not have a permanent legal status as required by the feds. California sanctuary laws prohibit asking applicants their immigration status. Governor Newsom said there's not a problem. Back to you.
Did I hear you right? Did you say 62,000?
That's correct.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a federal audit.
William Lejeunesse for us. William, thank you so much. Let's bring in the acting ICE director, Todd Lyons. I was really taken aback with what William just said, that California gave out 62,000 CDL licenses. What do you make of that?
Well, John, what's even scarier than that is some of those were real IDs, right? So those individuals who aren't supposed to be in the country, anyways, can get on commercial aircraft, can travel. Now they have CDLs where they're transporting hazardous goods. And John, just think about this. That's just California. When you think about all these other sanctuary states that are doing the same thing, there are so many states that are giving these CDL drivers licenses to people that shouldn't be in the country anyways. This individual yesterday, he crossed the border in 2022. Unfortunately, under the last administration and the catch and release policies, Border Patrol had to let him go.
Yeah, had to let him go. But did you hear what they also said? That it is illegal under California state law to ask a CDL applicant their immigration status. Unbelievable. Let's go to Roger in Taylor's. Roger, welcome. How are you, sir?
Mr. Charlie James,
Yes,
how are you
sir.
doing?
I'm great. What's going on?
I have my lovely wife sitting next to me.
Aw.
You want to tell me, hey?
Hey, darling, how are you?
Hey, Charlie.
So good to talk to you. All right, what's on your mind, Raj?
But we had a good outcome in our past vote, even though the turnout was low. And I wanted to thank the people that lived in Senate Seat 12's district.
Yeah.
And that was a huge win for conservatives. And it looks like the House District 21, either way this runoff goes, it's still going to be good for South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same mind that between Diane Mitchell and Steve Nail, we got a couple of good candidates running for that spot.
Yeah, and are you going to have them on for that debate?
Well, I do not know. We will get them on individually at least. I promise you that.
And a couple of things real quick is me and my brother was talking the other day. It was talking about, with this government shutdown and the people that, are going to be losing benefits, so to speak, for their food stamps. And a lot of these people, they can go out and work. And me and Ben was talking, and it was like, your first line of defense for that, if you need help, should be your family. And once you're a father, you're always a father. And it looks like their father's the government. So, and the last thing, I'm going to send you a piece of mail to the station. It's something my brother asked me to send you.
All right.
So by early next week, you should have it.
I will look forward to it, Roger. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much, buddy. Now, and that's the thing, though. If something happened, and, the radio station shut down, whatever, first thing I would do, first thing I would do would not be go down to the unemployment office. I'm going to Lowe's. I'm going to Home Depot. And I'm going to be filling out those applications. And I'm going to be that older guy in the Lowe's or the Home Depot where I don't have to look on an app to tell you what aisle the framing nails are on. I'm going to be the guy that knows the aisle that those are on. Let's go to Richard in Dallas. Richard, welcome, my friend. What's going on with you?
Hi, Charlie. I heard you talk a little earlier about beef.
Yeah.
And I think you said something like a whole beef cow could offer up 1,000 meals from
from snout to tail. 1,000 meals. Yeah, 1,000 meals.
Okay, I got a question.
All right.
Does the nose and the tail include in that 1,000 meals?
Well, do you eat oxtail? I don't know.
Before, but I ain't never seen never seen no ox snout.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Some of those people use everything out there. I appreciate it, but got to run. Thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow when it will be what? Friday. As always, God bless. Buckle up. Bye, y'all.